So the Mystic Archer is by far my favorite vocation in Dragon's Dogma 2. It's got so much utility to it if you choose to go that route, or you can just go like raw DPS and you can specialize and really focus in on specific types of DPS depending on what your group makeup is, which I think is really, really cool. And it makes a really powerful tool in terms of being able to play off the strengths and weaknesses of all the different
Here you are,
pawns in your
Master.
party.
I hope you like it. I found it
Wow,
myself.
she's shoving stuff in my pack, which is great. Now, I think the Mage and Sorcerer I like as well, sort of close seconds for me. If I had to pick between Mage and Sorcerer, I would probably say I would choose the Mage above the Sorcerer just because of the quicker cast times. But at the end of the day, the Magic Archer vocation for me is my favorite in the game, and I want to show you some of the reasons why above and beyond me just talking about it. So let me get this window out of the way here. We're going to run down to the vocation trainer, and I want to show you guys what I've got selected right now for my main abilities, and then we can talk about the ones I don't have and why I don't have them and why I've chosen the spec that I've chosen to take for my particular Magic Archer build. So in terms of skills, I am currently using the Frost Hunter Bolt, and I did level up the Candescent Orb in the beginning, but I ended up getting rid of that because it just didn't care for it too much. Blaze Fang Arrow is pretty freaking awesome because of the explosions and the fact that you can control the target, where it goes, but it also can be fired in the middle of combat in basically rapid fire mode. And Frost Hunter Bolt is a lot of fun too for a little bit of frost damage, a little bit of fire damage. But I would say that Blaze Fang Arrow is probably the one that I've used the most when I was leveling up until I got to the max of things. Ooh, I actually need to take the next level of Spark Chain. I hadn't done that yet. So the four that I choose to use are Blaze Fang Arrow, Frost Hunter Bolt, the Bolt Chain Stake, and my favorite is Sagittate Avalanche. This ability here in particular does massive amounts of damage, and it's really good for like focus fire on, when you've got like the Cyclops and you need to hit the face, or you've got, specific targets where you need to hit a hard point. It's really good for hitting that hard point with a ton of damage all at once, and it's probably my number one favorite ability. It does take a huge amount of stamina, but it's totally worth it when you use it. And then as far as core skills, take them all. And then augments, I use Sustainment, which augments the defensive and magic defenses of my party. I've got Veracity, which gives me stamina every time I kill a target, and I kill targets fast, so it helps. We've got Ascendancy, which gives more strength and magic to my pawns. We've got Endurance, which increases my max stamina. I've got Lethality, which gives me more damage when I'm going after their vitals. And then I've got Radiance, which was I think Radiance is the torch one. Yeah, your lanterns consume less oil and illuminate a larger area because I hate traveling at night, and that really, really, really helps out. Now, the cool thing about the weapon skills, and this is what I want to focus on right here, is the versatility, all the versatility of what the Magic Archer brings to the table. So I've chosen to go with a DPS spec with mine, and I traditionally run around with my first playthrough, and until I was maxing out the vocation. Right now I've been working on the mage and the arch and the sorcerer, so I've got a different pawn in my group. But the pawn setup that I've used here is my main pawn is a fighter. I went sword and board through the first time, and then the second time around I've gone for the two-handed stance. And I'm going to be talking about that in a second video, why I think it's a better stance than the sword and board, but that's a separate video. And I've chosen to be just all-around DPS for my group. I have a mage to do heals, and I have a sorcerer to do lots of DPS and big bursts of damage on crazy, areas and stuff. And as a result, I didn't go for any of the utility stuff that you can get with the Magic Archer. So I did originally level up Candescent Orb until I got the Sagittate Avalanche, because this really helps at night. And it actually has a side effect where it can cause a burn, which is kind of cool. But mostly it's just for, lighting up the target and giving you something to look at. There's also things like the Ricochet Seeker, which is for inside. What's up, Pippin? did you come inside, Mama? You want to come say hi to everybody on your way to your bed? Say hi. Meow. You just want to go back to bed. There you go, honey. Ricochet is great if you're going to be spending a lot of time indoors because it ricochets off of walls, which makes it very effective in cramped quarters, as it says. I don't spend that much time exploring caves, and even when I've been in caves, it hasn't been something that I've particularly enjoyed, but you can use it if you want. They also have Sedated Bolt, which it adds sleep value on impact, which basically puts a mob to sleep. Now, here's what I would say about this ability. Sedative Bolt is only going to be worthwhile in your first playthrough of the game at the base level. The moment you get into New Game Plus, everything, you're one-shotting everything. Sedative Bolt is absolutely worthless in New Game Plus mode because you kill everything so quickly. If you've watched any of my streams of the Magic Archer in New Game Plus mode, it's like even like the Cyclopses, I think somebody timed it the other day. It was seconds. It wasn't minutes. It was seconds to kill Minotaurs, Cyclops, so on and so forth. And so it's really just Sedative Bolt's not worthwhile in New Game Plus. It is very helpful at the low levels when you're getting overwhelmed by lots of mobs, but once you get to a certain point, you're not going to use it anymore. I would say around the time that you're level 30, you probably don't need it anymore. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. Blazefang Arrow is lethal all the way throughout, so just explosions and fire kill just about everything in the game. Hailstone Bolt is clumps of ice that grow larger in size the longer it's charged and delivers a solid blow to foes it strikes. So it's just another ice, if you want to do big impacts on targets, it could be a lot of fun to do that if that's something you choose. Bolt Chain Stake is pretty interesting the way it works. Essentially, you put stakes on the ground, and you can do like what they're just doing here in the video. You can get multiple targets at the same time and then hit another stake on the ground. So you see how they're putting things all over the ground. So basically, that starts to create this line of sparks, which deals damage to everything in that range, which is a lot of fun to see. Sagitate Avalanche, of course, is what I've used it for my DPS. But then there's also Remedy Arrow. I might as well just spend the points to get the next tier. I don't want to equip it, no. So Remedy Arrow it revives your fallen pawns if it's fully charged, and otherwise it just restores health of any ally that it strikes. The advanced version, it's just less time to charge. Then you have Life-Taking Arrow, which it extends the effective range when you're basically absorbing the enemy damage from everybody. So it saps the health of hostile targets in the line of fire and grants it to your pawns. I used this leveling up until I got around level 30, 32, and then I got rid of it because I was no longer needing it because we were killing things fast enough that I wasn't needed worried about helping out with the heals. Whereas in the early stages of the game, I was using this to help out with the heals of my mage. So what I would do is during combat encounters, I would do 5 or 6 DPS abilities and then a life-taking arrow and top off my pawns and then just keep on fighting. So it can be useful if you could even use this to main heal from your group if you wanted to, and you could, instead of needing a mage in your group to heal, you could be the healer for your group. It really does work very well. And then there's Bartizan, which creates a barrier around an ally which blocks damage. So this is another thing where if you wanted to be the healer and the defense buffer for your group, you could literally be putting up Bartizan on your tank and then healing them, and that's just your role. And you could couple that with things like you could have recovery arrow, you could have life-taking arrow, you could have Bartizan, and then if you wanted a DPS ability, you could go for something like the Blazefang arrow and then be good to go. Or you could go full utility and be a crowd control healer for your group by using sedative bolts and all the life-taking and recovery arrows and everything else. So this is the reason why I think that the Magic Archer is, it's my favorite class in the game, and I think it's one of the best classes in the game, just because of all the versatility. And I'll probably cover that in a different episode. Like what is the best class in the game. I would still argue that it's going to be the Magic Archer, but there are considerations from the other classes as well. But anyway, that's what I think about the Magic Archer. If you want to see it in action and see all the flashy combat and everything else, all you got to do is check out the videos in the playlist below or tune into one of the live streams as we continue to play the New Game Plus mode from time to time. Thanks so much for those of you who have followed along with the journey. Dragon's Dogma 2 was a lot of fun. I gave it a 7 out of 10 in my final review, and I think it's a game that it's going to be interesting to see how it continues to evolve if they add a DLC and so on and so forth. But I know a lot of people out there are still having a lot of fun exploring caves and mountains and everything else. Let me know your thoughts of the game. Drop them down in the comments below. What do you think about the Magic Archer? Don't forget daily streams here and on Twitch. There's a Discord and a Patreon, and I'll see everybody in the next one. Stay safe, everybody. Happy gaming.